80,000 people fill the stadium, and only 22 players are on the field. And what we can clearly see right here is that most people are just spectators. And I'm not trying to, send a message that whether you should watch or should not watch their, football match. Like, that is not the main point of this video. I'm not gonna analyze, how they play, did they do good or whatsoever. That's not the main point. My main point is that what does it reveal about human nature that most people just overlook, okay? So we can see it right here that in fact millions of people they can't even name a single football player yet they still participate in it. Like, come on, bro. And the reason why it's like that is because of like they want to feel belonged, because like in our instinct, okay, like back in the day, like when we were still cavemen, okay, people would feel like they need to be part of the group. Otherwise, they wouldn't feel safe on their own. They would feel excluded. Okay, that's what they just like. They would do whatever it takes to just like feel included. And I'm not saying that it is wrong, but it is kind of useless because that is not how it works anymore. Back in the day, of course, like if you're alone, maybe we wouldn't be able to survive. A bunch of like venomous animals in just animals that can kill you. Okay, but nowadays you can survive on your own and you don't live in the jungle anymore. But it is still like inside our body. So that's why people are like that. I would say that the reason why people just want to just watch instead of actually doing something with their life, it is because it is easier to just watch. Okay, it is hard to train every single day. It is hard to be consistent. It is hard to show up every single day, and just all of the variables, it is just too hard. Okay, it requires effort, and most people don't want that because they're afraid of failure. They know that if they were to do the same thing, and there is a chance that they can lose, and they're just afraid of rejection and humiliation. But those 22 players are the one who are brave enough and step out of their comfort zone and doing something. I'm gonna tell you something. In fact, every athlete, I can tell you, every single athlete, they don't care about audience at all. I don't mean like in a bad way that like if the audience die, they're not going to care about it. I'm not saying like that. What I mean is that when I in when they are in the field, they're not gonna listen to your voice or when you cheer for them. Not at all. Like, I was an athlete myself, so I know what they're thinking. Seriously, they would focus on how they're gonna win or what technique should they use. Like many possibilities in their head, and the only goal is to win. They don't care like whether you are present or not. Seriously, that's why like they are the one who actually experience it, and most people can just watch. Like, of course, like, if you want to watch it for entertainment, I'm not saying that it's wrong, but as we can see it right here, that most people, they're not brave enough, or they're not the players in the game. It's just the same way with like social media. Many people, they doom scroll, but they don't create something. That's why like, we can see that many people like are just sitting in a chair watching people's success, and just like that's all, because they don't want to have like skin in the game because they're afraid of humiliation and rejection and failure. Of course, like that's a part of the game that you need to accept. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to do something, start, changing your life. It is hard. I've never said that it is easy, but that's why people don't want to do it, because it is hard. But I think it's not gonna be that hard if you have the right mindset. People will think that like I need to be perfect, I need to have, you know, like better condition, and I need to train hard to get there. It is so hard because like my life is already hard on its own, I have to work and stuff. But like man, every single person's life is hard. Seriously, everyone needs to work or, goes to school. Like they all have obligations. And I think trying to excuse like always, it brings nothing to your life. And you can, for the rest of your life, you would only be a spectator. You wouldn't be a player in the game. And that's like how modern people are. Because, it is easy to just like watch the match and just do nothing. You would see that like, for example, right? If I'm a German, okay? And if my country wins, I would say that like, yes, we won. But if my country, if they lost, usually people would just shift it to like, oh, that striker missed it, bro. Like you shouldn't have missed it, man. They wouldn't say that we lost. They would say that the team lost. They don't want to be part of failure. Only victory they would, want to be like part of. That's why people can only be spectators because, they don't want failure. And in fact, it is one of the biggest like barriers that people can't overcome just because like they don't want to be deemed as a loser. But that's why like people who are like in the field, they're better than those spectators. Like I'm not saying that like it is wrong or like they're better in every single way, not like that. But what I'm talking about people, as like spectators is that like people who are not brave enough to step out of their comfort zone and start doing something, that is hard, that is uncomfortable. It's not gonna be easy, but if those players can do it, you can do it too. Of course, like some people might be born affluent, of course, but look at like Ronaldo, he was born poor, but he still made it. Like, it's not an excuse to be the best. It is whether that you are willing to try or not. And I would say that if in your mind you doubt yourself, okay? And if you constantly doubt yourself, maybe you wouldn't be able to make it. You need to erase doubt permanently. Of course, like it's going to like come, in your head time to time, but what would help you is that if you show up every single day, despite, how you feel and whether you are exhausted or not, bro, those doubts are going to disappear on its own. Like, because you have evidence in you show up every single day, man. Like, those doubts are not gonna be like dominant. But what would tell about your consistency is that you don't care about, how you feel or whether you're ready or not. You would do it regardless. And that's why like most people win. I can tell you, if you want to be better at something, the key is repetition. If you want to look better, try going to the gym for a year, consistently, then you will see a result. Even though you don't know how to work out, just go there, okay? And then you would learn throughout your journey how to do better, what is the best nutrition, what is the best program. You would learn it. And nowadays, you can learn everything for free. You can ask ChatGPT for meals plan or how to like, or search like on TikTok. how to, use this machine properly whatsoever. Like everything is free nowadays, so it all comes down to your decision whether you want to be a player or a spectator. It is your own choice. And the cost of being a player is enormous, of course, and you just you can't be, an average in order to be in the field. You need to be consistent and you need to work hard, putting effort every single day despite how you feel. And you need to like sacrifice so many things on the way in order to be the best. Otherwise, you would just remain average. And if that is your choice, okay, then so be it. Many people only watch the World Cup because they want to be part of something. If their country wins, then they would celebrate with like people. They would have something to talk about. Oh, today our country is competing against this country whatsoever. They can talk only about others' lives, bro. Like, what about your life? Man, like, imagine, okay? People they know a lot about other people's lives, but know nothing about their own. They don't try to pursue their dreams, but following every person's life. Like, what even is this? Like, are people living for others or for themselves at this point? So, I want to leave you at that. Whether you want to be a spectator or you want to be a player, it is all your choice, man. And watching a football match is not wrong. You can watch it for entertainment if you want to. But ask yourself, if nobody watches this, would you watch it? If your friends, your family, people in your country, they don't watch it at all, would you still watch it? So I'm just gonna leave you at that. All right. And thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate all of you.